So, if you're listening to this video, it's probably because you have been cheated on, and I'm really sorry for that. I wanted to talk about my experience of what it's like to be with someone and be like madly in love with them, and just be in like a long-term relationship and get cheated on because it's just like a gut-wrenching, terrible feeling. Um, for me, I was with my boyfriend for about 3 years, and I won't mention his name, but um, we met from a high school friend, and we started dating, and everything was so amazing. I mean, like, like I'm even still having a hard time because it's affected me so much. But we were together for about a year, and everything was amazing. I'll preface this. I have a 5-year-old son, and when we were together, it was initially when I was in my undergrad and he was in his undergrad. And he went to San Diego State, and I went to Long Beach, so we were long distance, and that was really hard, and there was a lot of driving back and forth to see each other, and I get that the distance was hard, but I trusted him so much, and he became a place of comfort and security, and I felt safe with him. And then one day, he left his email up on my computer, and I went through it, and I found like a bunch of lists from ads from Craigslist where he had been like, I guess you would say, soliciting sex from like women on Craigslist, and like at the time I didn't even know that that existed, and so that was just I just dropped the computer and could barely breathe. So I broke up with him. He drove out crying, begging me. He came over, and we kind of were talking, and I could feel myself like softening and like letting him back in because I loved him so much. And but the problem was that like he would start acting normal with me, and it was like, how are you acting like none of this ever happened? Like, how are you acting like how are we going back to normal? Like everything for me is completely shattered. So I told him to leave, and then we broke up for about 8 months. That entire time of being away from him, I did a lot of like growing and soul searching. I traveled, I hung out with friends, and I could feel myself getting my confidence back. It was really hard. I mean, I felt like he had left me. I felt like he abandoned me because he hardly ever contacted me, and he just left. And then he worked his way back in, and I saw him one time, and that was all it took, and I just like went straight back to him because it felt so good to be with him. And then, we got back together, and we were together for a year and a half, and it was a lot of working on like infidelity and like me getting my confidence back and trusting him. And that was so hard. I mean, we did so much stuff. We gave each other our GPS. I kind of had to tell him, like, hey, can you delete these people off your social media or out of your phone because it's painful for me. And so he was respectful of that, and he did that. But the problem is that like he hadn't really changed yet. Like his intentions hadn't really changed yet, and it didn't matter what I told him to do. So we were together for a year and a half where I felt like we were visibly working on all these things. And we had finally gotten to a place where I felt like I could trust him again. And honestly, there was always that kind of gut feeling that he could have potentially like still been out doing other things because he's in the military, and so it's like our relationship was always long distance. But it's just that feeling that you have when you know that someone's not, they're just not being right, and they're not giving you everything that you deserve, and they're not there. They're there physically or they're there talking with you, but they're not there. And you can tell when someone's not putting in as much effort as you are. So I drove out to New Mexico to go visit him because he's at a training. And the first night I was there, I just felt like something was off. I don't know. It just felt like things were a little different. And I thought maybe that's because I hadn't seen him in a while. It had been a month since I had seen him last because he's on all these trainings. And so the next morning he went to go to work. And let me preface this with like, my dad just died like 2 months ago. And so like, it's been really hard for me. And like, anyways, so I had a dream, and my dad came to me in my dream, and he told me like to go through his things. And you can call me whatever you want. You can call me crazy, but even now, like I look back and feel like my dad was telling me like, you need to go through his things because something's up. So he went to work, and I was there, and I opened up his laptop, and I went through his iMessages. And I saw that he had been texting other girls. One of the girls, he was asking when he could go back to their house. And it was like, that was the defining moment when I realized, like, someone who cheats, like, it doesn't change. Like, I worked with him for so long, and he was my best friend, or I thought he was. And I just think that when someone cheats, that's an integrity or a character thing. And I don't think that people change. I think that people put themselves in circumstances that they know that they're putting themselves in. So why would he be giving his number to someone if the intention to cheat wasn't there? I wrestled for so long over whether or not I should forgive him. Mainly because I am so in love with him, and I was with him for 3 years. And my 5-year-old son knows him, and you put so much into a person, you invest so much energy and love and time, and especially as a woman, like I have sort of like a timeline set for myself and where I want to be and what I want in a certain amount of time, and leaving this person meant I had to leave all of that behind and just not know what's gonna come, right? But like, I was always so faithful and so honest to him, even throughout our long distance relationship, and even his time in the military. And it for me, it got to a point of like, are you even good for me anymore? Like, all of the reasons I fell in love with you, they're not there anymore. Like, I don't trust you anymore. I don't feel secure with you. I don't feel like you're open with me. I don't feel like you're honest with me. And that feeling of just like wanting to be loved, like wanting to be, wanting to feel like you can just completely surrender yourself to like someone and they will take care of you. And in retrospect, looking back, my dad's passing should have been the moment where he realized, like, I want to take care of this woman that I'm in love with. I need to be here for her, just, like, as a human being, let alone a partner, because losing your dad, like, losing anyone, for me, it was unexpected, and I'm 24 years old, and I had never dealt with death before, so this whole thing's been really hard for me, and all I wanted was, like, my partner to be there with me. The point is, I don't think that people change. I think that if you're in a situation and someone's cheating on you, I think that you need to think about what you can control, because I can't I was with this man for another year and a half and nothing changed, right? On the outside, things changed and it seemed like they were changing, but internally, his integrity was never completely repaired. I mean, he was always willing to put himself in those situations, and it doesn't come out until a year and a half later, and that's the problem. When you're well invested, and when you really need someone, and then they can't be there for you. So I think having to like look internally and ask myself, you know, like, what is this man doing for me? And what is he doing to me as as a woman, as a human, as a mother? Like, are you making me better than what I was? Or are you just bringing me down? Um, and I've never really like done a video or anything before, so this whole thing is new to me. But leave comments and questions, and I would love for others to tell their story. Because it fucking sucks, and I think that a lot of the time women will settle for a man because it was a mistake, and I think the problem is that it's not a mistake, it's just that's the kind of person that you're with, and they're willing to put themselves in those situations, and there are people out there. I know that there are people out there, men out there, who won't cheat on people.